I want to really share a story, an experience that I had. My playing days as an athlete, they're gone. I tend to lean into other challenges in life. Dan Hunt here, performance coach for hundreds of teams, hundreds of athletes, helping them win by being their best when it matters the most. And one of the things that I really enjoy doing is hiking. I love getting in the woods. I love challenging myself. I love also just disconnecting. But recently I attempted to do a 40-mile loop straight through the night. It was something that caught my eye. It popped into my mind. I said, man, this is something I just got to go attack. This is something I got to do. And the thing is that I learned so many different lessons throughout that hike that I want to share with you and drive some actions forward. Because even somebody who is a coach in this performance space, leverages these tools and strategies all the time in my own life. There's times where I just miss the boat. There's times where I trip up because there's not a journey. Like, this is a whole journey. This is not a, you arrive, you make it to the mountain and now you have it all. It's a constant evolution of stretching and raising the bar and trying to utilize these skills and strategies at a higher and higher level or create a greater depth of capacity. A couple weeks ago, I set out on this trek that I was going to do this 40-mile loop throughout the night. And for those of you that enjoy hiking, I enjoy night hiking because with the headlamp, it allows this like focus and zoomed in and you just get into this state of you're only seeing the thing in front of you, right? You're so fully immersed in the moment and there's just quiet all around. And so as I started this, I ended up immediately feeling good, right? I get to mile 4 and 5 out of this 40-mile trek and I'm feeling so good. I decide that I'm going to start jogging down the hills and using my momentum to go up. And I started to say, you know what? I'm feeling so good. I'm not even going to stop. I'm just going to keep driving forward. And from mile 6 to 12, I felt great. As I'm hiking along, I'm looking to my left, there's a river and a lake, and I'm just enjoying every bit of this. And it's starting to get dusk, and I'm getting excited for the challenge of just hiking through the night. And I get to a point where all of a sudden my feet begin to hurt. And I end up stopping for a brief moment. And I'm taking this all in, and I take my boots off, and I'm sitting on this river, and it's dark now. And I'm just taking all in, enjoying this. And I'm like, man, I'm just really looking forward to finishing this out. Not so much of the accomplishment piece, but the process of another 6 hours of hiking through the night. And as I put my boots back on, and then there is pain, I go to stand up and I immediately collapse. And I immediately struggle to actually take physical steps. Not because of my legs not being strong enough, but my feet actually like being in so much pain, I can't even take a step forward and really bear all of my weight. At this point in time, I'm at about mile 18 and a half, pushing on 19, and it's about 1:32 in the morning. I have to call my wife to pick me up. And I realize really quickly, actually, there's no place that she can directly get me from the trail, but I actually have to use hiking poles like crutches to hobble my way out. I end up getting in the car, and as I'm going home, there's this sense of grief, like I'm upset. Not again, I wanted to complete it, but I just wanted to keep moving. I wanted to keep going because I enjoy the process so much. And the first thing I want to share is that you can't be upset about not achieving goals and not doing things and not getting to the end and not being able to push yourself further if you're not fully invested and you actually don't put in the time to achieve those things. And that was something that immediately hit me, is that although I had a desire and although I hike a lot and although I'm in the woods a lot, this was not an idea that I fully invested in. This was not something that I planned out. This was not something that I invested time and energy for a month or more scouting the route, looking at plans, creating a plan, and really executing on this. It was something that popped into my mind and I went and chased it. And although I think it's great when those things happen, you have to realize that when you experience failure, like, was it a failure of effort or was it a failure that you really didn't put forth the energy and the plan and the investment to begin with? And if that's the case, you can't be upset about that. You got to go back to the drawing board, take the information that you have, and recreate the plan and go attack it again, which is what I'm planning to do. That was the first thing I really gained from that. The second thing is the little bit of a plan I did have, which was to hike an hour, 45 minutes, pause for 15, 20 minutes, and hike again. As soon as I started feeling good, I threw it out the window. I threw all discipline out the window. I looked at it as a sprint. I looked at it as I have a time that I want to come in under. And although I think there's periods of time that's important, for this specific thing, I attacked it wrong. And so I don't know where you are, but are you attacking what you're doing right now from a wrong perspective? Are you going at it and going out of pure emotion and feeling, going, oh, I can do this thing, and not really creating a plan and executing the plan and staying disciplined to the plan, especially when the feelings go out the window? That's what I did. And because of that, I started jogging down hills. And as I started jogging down hills, that's what really built up the plantar fasciitis, essentially, that built up in my feet where I couldn't walk anymore. I did so much damage out of feeling so good and just running off of that instead of being disciplined and executing the action. I took myself out of the game. And then finally, the thing I learned more than anything is that I hit a limit of where I could go and how I couldn't go any further based on the way that I approached it. I hit my physical limit. At this point in my life, there's been very few times that I've actually physically not been able to go further than what I could. Or not physically been able to go further than what my body would allow. Right? And so I experienced that. And again, as I shared earlier, there's ways I think I can go about it differently to allow myself to go further. But I also hit that limit. I also pushed myself to a point where I physically could not move anymore. When my wife picked me up at 1:32 in the morning, she had to actually help me get into the car. She had to help me get out of the car into my house, right? She had to help me physically move because I could not do, and I couldn't move any further, right? And I think so often we think we can't go any further. We think we've hit that edge when in reality we haven't at all, right? And so I learned that where that edge is. And now I'm already stepping back and going, how can I go about it a different way so that I can go further? And again, I want to encourage you with this story that this is a lesson that we can pull and things that we can pull from this and apply it to your journey, to your athletic pursuit right now. I don't know where you are or what you're doing, but is there a way you can go about it differently? Is there a plan that you can actually begin to create and set goals and even daily actions that you can take and start working that plan? Are you just going out it based on feelings and not even actually putting full investment in and getting upset? Because if you are, you have no reason to be upset. You actually aren't even invested at the level in which you should be to get the results you want, right? So these are all things I want you to unpack. I want you to think through, all right? And learn from me. And I'm going to circle back around and I'm going to share what I learned the next time I go about this, because now I'm going about it a totally different way, and it's going to be something I complete, and it's going to be something I learn even more so, because I'm not using this failure as something that I can't do this. I'm actually using this failure as information to not only benefit myself, but then to use and share with others. And you can do the same thing. So keep attacking it. What's the thing you can learn from where you are right now? And how can you shift and go about it a different way? Keep investing, keep driving, keep exploring and unleashing that greatness within.